Dallas housing is stagnant, and that's actually good news for you. And we're going to explain why. So this may sound counterintuitive, but if you understand what is going on, you will have a head start against competing buyers, sellers, and investors. So in many parts of DFW, prices aren't climbing month after month like they were in 2021 and 2022. Buyers aren't waiving inspections. Sellers aren't getting 15 offers in 48 hours. But that doesn't mean demand has disappeared. It means the market is recalibrating after a historic run-up.
Okay, so let's zoom out for context. From 2020 through early 2022, Dallas saw some of the most aggressive appreciation in modern history. Low mortgage rates combined with massive migration into Texas pushed values up at an unsustainable speed. That kind of growth always hits a ceiling, especially when interest rates rise. What we're seeing now is prices catching their breath while incomes and demand fundamentals catch up. Mortgage rates have been the biggest variable in this shift to widespread unaffordability. When rates jumped, affordability dropped almost overnight. A buyer who qualified for a $500,000 home 2 years ago might only qualify for $400,000 today at the same monthly payment. That reduces competition at higher price points and naturally slows price growth. But here's the key. Slowing growth is very different from declining long-term value.
So true. And inventory is another major piece of this puzzle. During the peak frenzy, we had less than 1 month of housing supply in some Dallas suburbs, and that's extremely tight. Now, in many areas, we're seeing right now 3 to 4 months supply, and sometimes even more in higher price ranges. That shift gives buyers options again, and options create negotiating power.
And negotiation power is where the good news really starts to show up.
Yep.
Buyers can ask for seller concessions. They can negotiate repairs. They can take time to think before making an offer. In the past, people were making 6-figure decisions in a single afternoon just to compete. A balanced market is healthier for everyone long term.
Yeah, and for sellers, this environment demands strategy, but it's not disastrous. Homes that are priced correctly and presented well are still selling. The difference is that they're selling in 30 to 60 days instead of 5. The market is rewarding realism instead of hype, and that's actually a sign of maturity, not weakness.
That's so true. Another factor is new construction. Builders increased production heavily during the boom years. Now those homes are hitting the market in larger numbers, especially in the outer ring suburbs. Builders are offering incentives like rate buydowns and closing cost assistance, which puts competitive pressure on resale homes. That contributes to stagnation in pricing, but it also improves affordability options for buyers.
What we're not seeing is widespread distress. Foreclosures remain relatively low compared to historical crisis levels. Most Dallas homeowners locked in low mortgage rates and have significant equity right now. And so that means there isn't a wave of forced selling pushing prices down. The slowdown is driven by affordability adjustments, not financial instability.
And that's a crucial distinction. A true crash usually requires job losses, high foreclosure rates, and tightening credit markets. Dallas still has a diversified economy with strength in technology, healthcare, finance, logistics, and corporate headquarter relocations. Population growth hasn't reversed. People are still moving here.
And that long-term migration trend is actually one of the biggest reasons stagnation can be really good news. When a market grows too fast for too long, it becomes vulnerable to sharp corrections. A period of flat pricing allows wages, rental rates, and buyer confidence to stabilize. It also prevents the formation of a speculative bubble.
Investors are paying close attention to this phase. Rent growth has normalized, but demand for rentals remains steady because of continued in-migration. Investors who buy in balanced markets often perform better long-term than those who buy at the peak of a hype cycle. When competition cools, disciplined buyers can negotiate better entry points.
And there's also segmentation happening. Entry-level homes are behaving differently than luxury properties. More affordable homes are still moving because demand remains strong at those price points. Higher-end properties are seeing longer days on market though and more price adjustments. That doesn't signal collapse. It reflects how interest rates disproportionately affect the discretionary purchases.
And psychologically, this reset is healthy. For years, sellers felt like they could name any price and get it. Buyers felt constant pressure and anxiety. Now, leverage is more balanced. Markets function better when neither side holds extreme power. Sustainable growth comes from stability, not frenzy.
Yeah, and so let's talk about long-term appreciation. So historically, Dallas has demonstrated resilience because of its economic diversity and pro-business environment. Over 5 and 10-year timelines, real estate here has trended upward consistently. Short-term stagnation often precedes the next growth cycle because it resets affordability and it rebuilds buyer demand.
Another thing to consider is refinancing potential. Buyers who purchase during the higher rate environments often benefit later if rates decline. That can improve affordability over time and increase buyer competition again. Buying during a calm period can put you ahead of the next demand surge.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when people say Dallas real estate is stagnant, they're technically right in the short term. Prices aren't skyrocketing. Homes aren't flying off the shelves. But stagnation does not equal decline. It means the market is stabilizing after extraordinary expansion phases.
And stability builds confidence. It allows infrastructure projects to catch up. It gives builders time to adjust supply. It lets buyers re-enter the market thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Those are all ingredients for long-term health.
So if you're a long-term homeowner planning to stay 5 to 10 years, this environment could actually be ideal for you. You're not competing in bidding wars. You have leverage, and Dallas's underlying economic drivers remain firmly intact. Short-term flat growth doesn't erase long-term demand.
If you're a seller, the key is adjusting expectations, not panicking. Pricing correctly from day one, preparing your home properly, and understanding current buyer psychology are critical. The market is still active, it's just more rational.
Yes, and so at the end of the day, headlines thrive on extremes, right? Boom or bust, crash or frenzy. But most markets spend the majority of their time in moderation. And that's exactly where Dallas appears to be right now, in a normalization phase that could set up stronger and more sustainable appreciation in the future.
So yes, Dallas real estate feels stagnant compared to the explosive years we just experienced. But sometimes the best opportunities come when things feel boring. Balanced markets create strategic openings for buyers, investors, and even well-prepared sellers.
Short-term stagnation doesn't scare us, especially in a metro with this level of economic strength and migration momentum. In fact, for disciplined buyers, it may be the healthiest buying window we've seen in many years. If you're trying to figure out how to navigate this phase the smart way, we are here to help you build that strategy.